Hello, this is Dr. Gay from First Sick MRI. And this is a 33-year-old female who fell about 8 weeks ago, injuring her shoulder. The pain never went away, and so she finally comes in for an MRI. And we see that there is something wrong over here on the outside of her humerus. So this round ball is a humeral head. Here's the neck going down to the shaft, to the arm. The deltoid muscle is over here, this gray area. The dark area over the top is the subcutaneous fat, normal tissue over here. This is the glenoid, the cup. The rotator cuff rotates in over here. So the joint here looks great. It's on the outside. There we have a problem, this bright spot here. So on this view, it looks dark. These are just different sequences where fluid and edema look bright. And here, marrow is bright and so is fluid. And we see right here that there is an area that looks darker than this. This is marrow and also edema mixed together. It's a little bit darker than the bright fatty marrow here. And this marrow is suppressed, so marrow is very dark. This is light bulb bright, so there's lots of edema. Now this involves a portion of the bone called the greater tuberosity. This is right where the rotator cuff attaches. And the rotator cuff, one of the components over the top here, this is called the supraspinatus muscle. It becomes thin and it turns really dark. Jet black here, this is the tendon. So the muscle is gray. The tendon comes over here and attaches right on here on this footprint, we call it, of the greater tuberosity. And the rotator cuff can tear sometimes, very common. And sometimes the rotator cuff holds on, it doesn't tear, but instead the bone will fracture. So this is a non-displaced fracture, an avulsion type fracture. And you can see where the tendon tugged really strongly here, and the bone fractured. You can see the fracture line, but it did not become displaced. Often we'll see these pulled right off or lifted up. Luckily, this patient does not have a displaced fracture, just a non-displaced avulsion type fracture at the rotator cuff attachment on the greater tuberosity, that's part of the humerus. This is another view, same thing, but now we'll see marrow as dark. What's wrong one? Here it is. This is called a T1 weighted sequence. And marrow is bright and fluid is dark. So here you can see the area where the fluid is dark. So a non-displaced avulsion fracture at the rotator cuff attachment of the greater tuberosity. And with the rest, this bone should heal and incorporate right back in, and thankfully they do not have a rotator cuff tear. And all the other parts looked really good. Thank you very much.